Actually, I don't look at this as a challenge, I look at it as an opportunity. It's fascinating to be in an industry that is fast moving, where innovation is happening every day. This is what keeps us healthy, this is what keeps us fit, and as I said, I think it is an opportunity more than a threat. It is the question of whether you can identify the latest trends, and if you are, as an organization, agile and fast enough in your decision making to embrace these opportunities, because otherwise they could actually turn into threats. So first of all, when I talk about this workforce crisis, what I mean is that we will see, and in some countries we already do see, a shrinking workforce. We have less and less young people that come into the workforce. That's the capacity gap. And then the capability gap is that as a consequence, the workforce will get older and older. Now, with this fast change and pace of change in technology, that creates a capabilities gap, because people leave the education, the learning ages when they are 25 or 28 years old, and then they join the workforce, and many of them work them for the rest of their lives. And I think we need to find new models how we keep our workforce up to speed, and how we enable technology, and how we enable the people to use technology. And this is where things like Wanda or our applications can help, because they deploy technology in a way that human beings can work with it. And Wanda is a very good example for an approach where we use artificial intelligence, where we use big data, where we use natural language as a way of working with a business application. And with this, the business application almost becomes a peer. You talk to the business application like you would talk to another person, and you start to work with the application like you would work with a colleague. And this is how the technology and how the application can actually help people to get their job done faster, more successful, more efficient. Well, so first of all, we are changing the way we treat students, or universities treat students. Students are probably the most demanding and the most difficult to handle customer or consumer group that a company could think of. They're young, they're not yet completely sure about what they want to do. Many of them change their minds on a frequent basis. They have high expectations when it comes to technology and services. And universities need to live up to those expectations if they want to compete for the students, and if they want to attract students to join their universities. And that's what we do with our applications. We help universities to shift the focus away from administration to student experience and ultimately student success. We feel it is an obligation of the education system to make sure that the people who join the education system are successful. And in some countries of the world, we have dropout rates as high as 70–80%, which means the vast majority of the people who start a degree actually never end a degree. In more and more countries around the world, these education programs, these degrees are self-funded, so these young people start their professional career with a high amount of debt without having a degree. And that causes a massive burden on the world's economy and contributes to that workforce crisis that I've mentioned before. And we are convinced that if we use technology to drive and to foster student success, it is actually to the benefit of the universities, of the education institutes, as well as the students, and from that point of view, a good thing. I think the role of the CFO is changing and has dramatically changed over the last few years. The CFO today, when I look at what I expect from our CFO, yes, he needs to guarantee proper accounting. Yes, he needs to be the one who provides a lot of the data and the data points for us to understand how we are performing. But the CFO more and more transforms into what I call the venture capitalist in the business. He needs to be the one who can help the management team, help the CEO to manage the funds of the company in the best possible way, and to almost on an ongoing daily basis, based on real-time data, decide how we are performing, where we are not performing, and how we make best use of the funds we have. So it moves away from a very sequential, time unit-driven, quarterly, monthly, annual point of view onto a rolling, real-time based, insight-driven way of working, and constantly asking ourselves, is this the best way to make use of our resources, predominantly financial resources? Yeah, first of all, I got an invitation, which I happily accepted because it is an opportunity for me to first and foremost meet all the CEOs, and I enjoyed the panel with my two fellow CEOs of Dutch firms here a lot. It's always good to be a little bit out of the daily business and have an opportunity and exchange with all the CEOs. That's something that I do too little. And then of course there is on top also an interesting community of financial sponsors and private equity firms here, which is always good to have. Network building, sharing insight, sharing ideas, and that was definitely worth the investment.